Hi guys, today I'll be looking at a Hall Effect linear switch, the TTC Elf King. Let's get started. But firstly, a disclaimer, these switches were sent to me by TTC. I wasn't paid to make this review and I'll remain impartial as per usual. Anyway, enjoy the review. Now, the Elf King is one of TTC's newest Hall Effect linear switches, although they've made quite a few now which you can check out on their website. Now, pricing wise, these are $10.13 for 15 switches on TTC's website, placing these in the upper mid-range. And this is what they look like when disassembled. Feel free to pause the video. Now let's move on to the switch characteristics. On-center key presses are the smoothest I've ever felt in a switch. I'm dead serious, these are bloody smooth, and yes, even at very slow key presses. Off-center key presses are very smooth, but there are slight inconsistencies at very slow key presses, with some switches being heavier than others. Otherwise, these would be perfect. Overall, these are as close to perfection as they come, plus they aren't too pricey either, so they're worth trying out. 9 out of 10. Now, according to TTC, these switches have a customizable actuation point, start off at 32 grams and have a total travel of 3.4mm. Now, as you can see from this force curve I recorded, the TTC Elf King were within spec. Now, consistency wise, switch 3, the black line has a slightly longer travel compared to the other two, but this is still within spec and wasn't noticeable in normal use. Now, here's a force curve comparison between the Elf King and the Durock POM piano. The piano switch is by far the smoothest switch I've ever tested, so I wanted to see how they would compare. It turns out the piano switches are noticeably heavier from the midpoint onwards, but they share a similar weighting from around 0.1 to 0.9mm. Now here it is against the Rocket Titan Optical Linear, the only other switch I've reviewed that isn't a traditional mechanical switch. The Elf King is noticeably lighter this time around. Overall, these are light and very consistent linear switches with customizable actuation and reset points. However, given how light they are, I had to set the actuation really low just for me to be comfortable with them, which meant I bottomed out quite often. 7 out of 10. Now, these are factory lubed, so they were quieter than normal, plus I couldn't hear a single scratch or inconsistency. As for its sound signature, I would describe them as creamily clacky, or in other words, an excellent sounding switch. Overall, you can tell just how smooth these are from the sound alone, and I happen to really like that. 8 out of 10. Now, take a listen and enjoy. Now, if typing with a smooth switch is a priority for you, these may just be your answer. I had zero issues with them regarding smoothness or inconsistencies. These were by far the smoothest and most consistent switch I've ever typed on. I've absolutely got no complaints here whatsoever. Overall, I said I don't have any complaints, but I would have been a bigger fan if they had a heavier weighting since I made a lot of typos, but I still really like them. 8 out of 10. Now, I have to preface that I'm not an esports gamer, but these switches made me feel like one. Their smoothness is just out of this world, which gave me such an advantage. Performance-wise, they basically knocked it out of the park. They did a super well job in both fast and slow-paced games, which, by the way, is very unusual. No wonder why people are switching over to these. They are just that good. Overall, switches like this offer the biggest benefit to all gamers, and especially more so if you're on the competitive side. 9 out of 10. In conclusion, if you're looking for the smoothest switch with an adjustable actuation, it's this one. The final score for this switch is 41 out of 50 or 82%, making these the best overall linear switch of all time. And that's it. Next time I'll hopefully be looking at a custom full-size keyboard. Until then, take care and goodbye.